kindness to humanity. And today is part 2 of the Galactics, our relationship with them and why they are here with Kalia Daya. So we want to welcome back Kalia, who is a powerful divine being, truth teller, compassionate healer, and activator. So welcome back, Kalia.
Thank you, Linda. Very happy to be doing this part 2.
I know. Literally part 2 of part 2. Yeah, part 3. Can everybody hear us first of all before we even start talking? Because we were just rolling on with the show. So can you give us a hey, yeah.
Okay, good.
Hi, Leslie. Okay, so you guys can hear us for sure, right? Okay, I'm sure they can hear us.
Yeah, well, wait. Yeah.
Yes, okay, awesome. Okay. Yes. Well, we were rolling with the last show. That's all we got to say is that we were just having a great old time. And Clea's like, hey, you know what? I think they can't hear us. And I'm like, well, we're on live. And so anyway, so we are back. Well, the Arturians, right? Can you say? They had a message for us that it's going to be very lighthearted and very playful. So they have shown their true colors of playing. We're just playing, have a good time.
No, it's good. It's really good. And it truly is lighthearted and playful. Yeah, I think I'll tell them what I told you. There's a party on my ship right now, and that transmission is being beamed down in through this, energy that we hold. And so we were giggling about how this is all transpiring. It's awesome. I just love it. It is so lighthearted. It feels so good.
Yeah.
So we'll just go with it and see what happens.
Yeah, we're just going with it. So sorry, you guys, you couldn't hear us. We could hear ourselves. So, but it's good because we didn't go the full show without even knowing that.
Yes.
Yes. So what I wanted to ask Kalia was to go back to, for anybody that's joining us that's new, that missed yesterday, if she can kind of reiterate how she arrived to this place and how she actually started channeling and what that really looked like for her. So we're going to let her do that before we dive into everything else. Oh, and there will be question and answer at the end of the show. And I do have questions from people that had questions yesterday. I apologize, I didn't get to those. 11 comments. Great number. And so we'll get to those first before we get to the chat questions. So I just want everybody to know that. So yay. All right. Let's do this.
Let's do it again.
Yes.
So I'll just briefly share what I shared yesterday, because I believe yesterday I spent a bit of time telling you about my background. But for anybody that's curious, I come from Arcturus. I am an Arcturian native, if you want to call it that. And that's why the Arcturians are here having a party. They're actually, I went to acknowledge them. They actually are in my living room, and that's why I look over and I feel them and I receive direct transmission from them. There are also Palladians here too, and they love to party too. So this is gonna be a wild night.
No drinking, no smoking involved.
No,
sorry.
That's right. Just laughter.
Only drinking love.
That's right.
Yeah, soaking in the love.
Yeah. Yes. So I came here with my gift of sight, and that was never shut down. And I was sharing last night how it was mostly shut down at certain periods of my life because I was deeply entrenched in programs and so on. But it never, I always could see stuff, and I always knew, I had that knowing that there was, a greater cosmic plan going on. So what I shared last night was the story of how I was 2 and my grandfather was diagnosed with terminally ill cancer. And everybody was sad because grandpa was a wonderful person. Of course, you don't want any of your loved ones to pass over. You want to hang on to them. So as my mom tells the story, I don't remember this, but she said when I was 2, it was a Sunday and we were all together having Sunday dinner together. And I went over to my grandfather and laid my hand on his knee. And I said, why is everybody sad? Grandpa's going to be okay. And he went to the doctor shortly afterwards, and they did more tests, and he was completely clear of cancer. So that to me is a demonstration of the connection to source, because as 2, of course, I didn't have any expectations. I didn't have any preconceived ideas. I was just purely connected. And so that's how our gifts work. for all of us, we just have to clear away the linear mind and just open the heart. So that's how my life began. I always saw angels and beings and flashes of light, and I always had an awareness that I was being watched, but it wasn't a scary, creepy sort of I'm being watched. I just felt my family around me. And I always looked at the stars and I connected to them too. And then skipping fast forward to when I met the Galactics was about 2 years ago, about 26 months to be precise. I began to study and be rather obsessed with the Pleiadians and listen to channelings and any sort of information on them. And it just felt real and it felt right. It just felt like home. And that's how I began my journey of discovery. I listened to other transmissions with curiosity, but I never really attached myself to anything in particular. I wanted to find out for myself. I wanted it to be all my discovery and my journey. So I didn't really follow anybody for long periods of time. So the Pleiadians were a huge key part of my awakening. And then a year later, I was sharing how I connected to the Andromedans very unexpectedly. And I saw them in a field close to my house. And I said, I have to find out who this is and why they're here. And I identified them by Googling them and by figuring out, it took me a little while, but I was like, you look very strange. I need to know who you are. And so I identified the frequency and it felt right. And I asked them to confirm and they did. And so they brought me a message that was really personal, but one that I also shared with the collective. And that was my first channeling. And after that, it just poured in. It was a very natural thing for me, even though I had it on my bucket list to learn how to channel and to take a course. It turns out I didn't need that. I just had done it before, and all that remembrance and that knowing just came funneling right back into me. So that was so exciting for me. It was just expanded my life in ways that I can't even describe in words.
Yeah.
And, they showed me, I was telling last night how they were holding up something and it looked like a flute. And I didn't discern until about a week later what it actually was. And they said, no, that's a wand. And you're going to be making wands, which I do. And that has been a majorly joyful creative process, an intuitive process, a really powerful process of connecting people to source and to their galactic roots and to the inner child, and just to play and have fun. So that is where it all began, and it's just expanded infinitely in even a year.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, when you channel, so we talked a little bit last night after the show that that you had to set boundaries, but so can you go into a little bit more detail about when you started to channel, like what that really kind of, because you want other people to know when they start channeling, things that you had to learn that you specified.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very careful about it. It wasn't random how I did it. I had all the checks, and like I was telling you on the 15 minutes ago or whatever, that I developed my own methodology, and I would meditate prior to raise my vibration, and then I would say who is here, and I would state only those beings who exist in the highest order of light may connect with me, because I never wanted anything but clear, pure truth and love. And so the first few months when I channeled regularly, I would always do that. I still do that, but it's more of an instantaneous process. And now my vibration is so high that nothing, that has ill intent can connect with me. It's just that simple. But I did have my methodology. I would state boundaries to beings because sometimes other ones would float in, because I'm also a medium. So I see beings and souls floating around in the astrals, and I'm a shaman too. So I'm connected to all the world. So there was a lot of cosmic activity at first, but I learned how to create a space for the transmission between whomever was trying to speak to me. And that was by stating boundaries and by raising my vibration and being very careful and very clear. And then after I would channel, I would read the message and make sure there was no distortion, and check with my guides and say, is this good? Can we share this? And I did have a bit of trepidation at first because this was all new for me, and I did not want to have any shred of anything but integrity and truth and love. And I believe I never did because I was very careful. So if you want to channel, you find your own methodology, but you have the power as a sovereign being to state who you want to talk with. Just like if I was walking down the street and there was somebody I didn't want to talk with, and they came up to me and they wanted to initiate conversation, I would just say no, thank you, and move on. So we have that power as sovereign beings with whomever wants to come in our space. Just say no, thank you, or no, absolutely not in some
Yeah.
cases, or
Yeah.
yes, please.
Yeah.
But it takes practice, but now it's just an instant connection to frequency. I don't even need to ask who's there. I just know who's there, and often I will see a color beforehand and I'll know, oh, because I have color coded system. It's almost like sign language, Linda, where I've set up these little flashcards or, instant knowing. So if the Arcturians come in, they'll be purple, for example, and I'll be like, oh, hello. But sometimes I really see them manifest in physical form, like we were talking
Yeah.
about. So we can talk about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you do have a channeling class that you do, that you have a
Yes.
teaching class?
I did write and create a channeling course for people who are curious about it. If anyone's curious, I would be happy to dust that off and revise it and update it and do it again because it's so much fun. It is so empowering, and it's not nearly as technical or scary as you might think. It's just really, it's a lot of learning to connect to your own intuition, really, and then, following the steps that work for you and trusting yourself, and then just allowing it to flow. So yes, I do offer that. It's very practical and very easy to follow along. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And then do you, because we know we talked about there's certain groups that you do channel,
Mhm.
certain soul groups. What are the certain soul groups that you do channel that are the closest to you, but you do channel other groups outside of that?
Mhm. My three main groups, the ones I'm closest to, are the Arcturians, the Andromedans, and the Palladians. They have always been so close to me, and they're my people, if you want to call it
Yeah.
that. They are
Yeah.
the ones that I just instantly know that they're around me all the time, and so on. But I have channeled the Lyrans, the Syrians, Alpha Centauri, Cassiopeians, and then various archangels, various ascended masters, or really high vibe beings. Jesus, Anna, grandmother of Jesus.
Mm,
I even channeled Robin Williams once.
really?
Yeah, that was very
Wow.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's just blasted wide open, and I've
Yeah.
just learned to say, there are no limits. Sometimes I get messages from really beautiful souls who've passed over that I don't share because it's a personal thing. But Robin Williams, for some reason, was really close to me when I awakened. He would, because I'm a seer and a medium or whatever, he would come sit on my bed, and he would put on that little red
The,
nose that he wore in that movie, Patch Adams, I
the
think, or
Patch. Yeah, Patch Adams.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And he would just be silly and goofy because when I first awakened, I immediately began clearing my human template hardcore. So it was intense because I had all the stuff come up. So there'd be times when I was lying on my bed, just feeling really down and like, what is going on? And I really want to do this, but I really don't know how to do this. So he'd just come sit on the bed and be goofy and tell me jokes and put on the red nose and then juggle balls. And I really, hold him in high esteem for that because he was, believe it or not, so real. And so it was really
Yeah.
cool when he came, I don't even know, almost maybe 2 years later. And I said, but, I was like, do you really want me to channel you? And he's like, yes, take your time. So I did. It was a really blunt message. He used
Oh.
some swear words and stuff. And I was hesitant to post it because I didn't want to be discredited, but I said, what the heck? I have nothing to lose, and it was a really good response to it. So I learned at that point to just trust the process. But yes,
Yeah.
going back to your question, my three main beings group are the Arcturians, the Andromedans, and Pleiadians, and the rest come and go, and
Mm.
I have to say one of my favorite group of beings to channel is the Elohim beings. And I they're just pure
Mm,
source light. They are so high vibrational. It's just
mm.
amazing. So yes, there's been many. There's been many.
Oh, wow. Now, can
Mhm.
you share with us what Robin has channeled through you, or can you not?
I don't know if I'll remember it, to be honest, because when I channel,
Okay.
it's not coming through my mind,
Yes.
so I don't really
Yeah.
have memory of that. He kind of kicked people's butts and said, "Who do you think you are?" kind of thing. You all,
Yeah.
because a lot of people probably at that point were attaching to, twin flame thing, or I am ascended master or whatever. And granted, some people are, but
Yeah.
there was people were getting thrown off the path of truth because they were going down all these rabbit holes and wanting to be entertained, really. And he was basically bringing people back to center and saying, just enjoy being here and stop calling yourself this or that. You are all I am,
Yeah.
basically, as I remember that was the message. So
Yeah.
so it was a lot of fun,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
it was
I bet.
kind of shocking.
Well, I don't, not really, because you're a very playful, being. So
Hmm.
you really like that. So
Yeah,
Patch Adams, Robin Williams would be perfect because, he
yeah,
was very playful and
yeah,
very
for sure.
funny and
But
very
really,
kid-like.
yeah, but so sweet and so deep. Like his
Yes.
his core essence was that of really truly caring, very
Mm,
authentic,
mm,
really just love, really incarnate.
mm,
So,
mm.
mm,
That's beautiful. Wow.
yeah.
Thank you
Hmm.
for sharing that. So I do have a question on the
Hmm.
bodies of the souls of that you channel. Are they have the human bodies? Are they translucent, um, or just energy? So how is that?
They are all just energy. That is the shortest answer. However, in the beginning, my human mind needed to have some sort of evidence of who it was and some sort of materialization so I could connect with that. So they honored that and they would materialize as, beings with actual physical attributes. So, the Palladians had a distinct look, the Andromedans had a distinct look, the Arcturians had a very distinct look, and, you know, various colors of skin and so on. But really, ultimately, that doesn't matter to them. They only did that to assist me to
Yeah,
trust the process and um, to help me identify their frequency because they're just energy and frequency and vibration. But I
yeah,
do believe they're telling me this now that when there are landings and stuff, they will come down in a form that won't scare the bejesus out of us, kind of thing. Like they'll
yeah,
they'll they'll make
yeah,
it they'll help us acclimatize as much as possible. So they will take some sort of form, but really, in essence, they're just like us, pure soul, pure light. And that's really all that matters.
yeah,
Humans just get attached to a physical form, an avatar, even gender and race
yeah,
and stuff, and that really none of that really matters at all
yeah,
because we're pure soul.
yeah, yeah. It would make sense. There's no gender,
Mm-hmm.
there's that for sure. Well, the reason I asked because with the ascension and everything, we've heard that well, several different things. The higher dimension you go, the lighter that you are.
Hmm.
And but since we do love having the sensations,
Hmm.
and so what are your thoughts on that with the galactic? Are yours and their thoughts on that as far as us in this ascension process, taking the body but being more translucent, but having all
Hmm.
the senses?
Hmm. It will just be heightened because, like we were talking about last night, when we were musing together, can you imagine if we could see all of
Yeah,
our frequency, the colors and the tones and the
yeah,
vibration and the complexity and the sheer, uh, you know, wowness of it? Um, I have never actually asked them that question, so I'm just going to take a moment and ask
okay,
them.
okay,
They're saying we will carry some physical attributes with us, and we can really create, that's cool. We can kind of create how we want to look. The essence of us will still be there, but we will be
yeah,
lighter. Because they're showing me now there's a lot of rainbow auras around everybody. But
mm,
again, they're taking us back to the physical avatar doesn't really matter because we are all energy. So we can
mm,
we can transmit it however we want. But now they're showing us, some of us going up to that dimension, but then some of us will be coming back down. And so we will use the vehicle, the vessel, so that we are recognized. I hope people understand that transmission, because I can see it, but to try to put it
it's
into
beautiful.
words.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can be as
yeah.
light as we want to be, and we probably will look very similar to what we look like, but just that ageless look really is what I'm feeling. You know, this just the pure ethereal light frequency, and honestly, none of that will matter when we're there. Like, we really won't care. We really won't care if you know, we're short or tall or whatever, because that will not matter.
Yeah. It's not an energetic thing for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you did say, that's when we kind of got cut off the show on the beginning, that they said something about, wouldn't it be awesome if we just didn't give you anything to say tonight?
Yeah. So I was telling Linda, I was tuning in tonight prior to the show. You know, I always prepare, I clear my mind and just connect with my higher self and just say I'm wide open to the highest frequencies of love and truth. And then I asked them, so do you guys have anything specific to share tonight? Because we have about 3 points that they want to share from, you know, the continuation of last night. And I just started giggling because they said, they were being very cheeky, and they said, well, what if we would give you no answers at all? What would you do? Meaning you as the collective. Because they were showing me that the heart frequency is so powerful, and even the telepathy and all of that, that we could actually have a show just sitting here laughing like lunatics, but still be sharing and getting the downloads and the information. So they were being a bit cheeky about that. And they were saying, what if? And they were kind of winking and being silly. But I said, well, then let's do it. I don't care. You know, that's fine with me. But really, that's the essence of what they're bringing through tonight, is just practicing really with each other, sharing the heart frequency. You know, I feel your heart and you feel mine, and just allowing whatever is happening, because it's so high vibe, you can absolutely trust it. Allow whatever is happening during this time together to just happen, and not fixate on, like, specifics are good and they understand that, and there's certain specifics they do want to share with us, but they were just throwing that out there, like, what if the only purpose of the show is just to be together and to feel that light-hearted, airy feeling of a higher dimension, really? So I said, okay, well, we'll roll with that.
Exactly. Hey, I'm in for that. We could totally do that. I would say whenever they want to do that, we could actually take the time. I'm sure everyone would love that, you know, to take the time to really just and be in silence and just feel those downloads and feel that energy coming through. So we could certainly do that. Maybe at the end of the show, maybe we'll do that.
Absolutely. We could just connect telepathically and just hold that amazing space of love. And just allow it to expand out, you know, past your house, into your city, into your country, beyond the stratosphere of Gaia, and just out infinitely into the universe. That is so powerful. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, we could do that for sure. We could try it at the end. Definitely would do that. That would be wonderful to do that. So, okay, well, let's go into, we didn't talk about the crystal cities last night, and we are going to get to Sasquatch, because we did have a question on that. That'll be right after that. So let's talk about the crystal cities. Okay. That was one of the messages they wanted to share.
Yes, so I'm going to read verbatim from the channeling I did that was given to us specifically for these shows that we're doing the last 2 days. So I will first read it verbatim. And as I'm doing that, I'm tuning in to any updates or any further points, and then we'll talk about what they said. So the crystal cities they showed me, I got a really clear vision of it. It was just stunning. Like, it was an actual place made of crystal, and skyscrapers that look like selenite wands, kind of thing. So that was the vision that I got, and then they gave me information about it. So they said, these crystal cities are being built and created. Not everyone will go there, but it is not a case of missing out. And this was what we were talking about last night, about soul missions and contracts. I believe Junior asked that question. Certain souls have agreed to certain missions, and so it's never a case of missing out. Everybody has access to everything, but some of us, they're saying, will choose not to go. So everyone has access to these cities. I forgot. They already said that. But depending on their own soul's role, they will stay and help create and be on planet Gaia. Others will be called away to these crystal cities to continue to collect data and oversee the ascension process. These cities are also operational bases. The triangulation between Gaia and humanity in these crystal cities was shown very clear to me and very strongly. Some would call it the traditional heavens. But these crystal cities are being created, and there is only harmony, peace, and joy. And there's a lot of activity coming and going as an operational base. And this was a current update on that. It is really quite close to the planet. So as I saw it, it could even be the actual fifth dimension. That was not clarified, but it was so close to Gaia. It was just right up there. And I often see the different levels when I look at Gaia and, I'm shown what's going on, but it was really close. Like, I want to ask them if I can. Yeah, I am allowed to say it is. I know there are specific terms for this. I'm not aware of them, but I will give you a word picture. It is above where airplanes fly. So I know airplanes fly about, let's say, 30,000 feet.
30,000.
So it is above that, but not far above that.
Wow.
So also, they wanted me to share this. I'm glad I remembered. Thank you, guys. When I channeled the Oracle very recently, she said, I see the worlds merging. And I said, is this tied to the crystal cities? Because I did literally see dimensions merging, the veil becoming thinner when I was channeling that. And I am not confirming this, but the essence, the energy of it is that those are the dimensions merging. So we're closer to 5D. So these crystal cities could be the actual 5D reality that we are working to create. It could be that. That is the feeling I get, and I am allowed to share that. But they are not saying, yes, 2 thumbs up, you got it, sister. But they want us to just, not fixate on the answer, but just know that these crystal cities are real and we have access to them. So we'll leave it at that.
Wow. Beautiful. Love that. Wow.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It sounds really awesome. Sounds really just like a place I definitely would want to visit.
Yeah, definitely. Or stay.
Or stay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Love that. Nothing else on the crystal cities? So we can go on to Sasquatch.
Yes, we can go to Sasquatch. So the next transmission I got for tonight to share with everybody, and I will read it verbatim again. They told me not to be shocked, but there will be beings that look like animals. And then I put Sasquatch. Galactic beings, high dimensional beings who will step into roles on the planet. They are able to come back. So this wasn't imminent. This was, time is so hard to describe because let's just say this could happen in our lifetime. I feel it's sooner than that. But, anyway, they are able to come back. And this is the way things used to be here. So we all used to cohabitate together. Sasquatch, angels, fairies, elementals, Arcturians. That is the ultimate utopia. And so that is what is being created. So they will come back and they will not look like what we're accustomed to, like we were talking about before, but, we'll get used to it because we're ready. We're aware. Our human self might be shocked a little bit and freeze, but we will feel their frequency and it will be fine. They may not look like what we're accustomed to, but they are being brought back as strategic and key components to Gaia and the New Earth. So they want us to prepare our human minds to broaden and not be frightened, and to understand that this is part of the plan, as they call it. These beings will be brought back into our reality to assist us, and this will be wonderful. So we do need to specifically talk about Sasquatch. So you can ask me questions, or we can just, share back and forth.
Yeah, so what is their role? So if they're being brought back here to help with Gaia, is it I mean, is there a certain role? Because we know, like the Galactics, there's a certain role that they have been placed around the planet
Hmm. Hmm.
to assist with the ascension. What is the role of the Sasquatch?
The
I mean, they're
Sas
coming back.
Yeah, the Sasquatch were also a huge part of my awakening, so I have much love for them.
Mm,
They, through my own discoveries, they were here before humans were. Here meaning on the planet. They
mm,
are extremely intelligent, extremely ancient beings, extremely high vibrational beings. They generally only communicate through telepathy. They are so telepathic. Now, of course, they also have been distorted throughout history as wild beasts and
yeah.
screaming and scaring people. But that's not who they really are. That's only the distorted view of what man has done. And that was also part of the plan to shut down the humans, really. Like, oh, there's a horrible monster in the woods, when it was
Yeah.
the farthest thing from the truth. So the Sasquatch are extremely high vibrational beings, high dimensional beings. They are on spaceships. They have ships. They come down in ships. They come and go. The reason why we don't see them very often is just because they're in a different dimension. But they are very connected to Gaia. They are the stewards of Gaia. They are the lovers of Gaia.
Mm,
And they are coming back to help us remember all those ancient things and to help us to almost retrain us, really, how things are. But I have immense respect and love for them because they are absolutely real. And I have seen one with my physical eyes. He showed himself to me.
really?
I
Wow.
was out specifically connecting to them and just sitting and talking with them because I can feel them. And I see them with my third eye, but I actually physically saw one, just a flash of one, go through the woods. And I was like, oh, hello. He was blonde. He had blonde
Oh, wow.
hair, and I felt him around me quite a bit after. And this is actually where I met Rick Jewers at a Sasquatch retreat.
Oh gosh. How
So
interesting.
it's very interesting. But they did
Yeah.
say the beings that look like animals, which is sort of a blunt way to say it because they're so much more than that. They are not
Yeah.
animals. They are extremely intelligent beings. Will
Yeah.
come back and step into roles on the planet. And so that's what they're going to do, just like the Galactics. They want to assist us, but they're not going to force their way in. They
Yeah.
want our consent and they want they want to be in harmony with us once again. And this is really the ultimate goal. This is how creation is meant to be, where every being can
Yeah.
be together and not be,
Yeah.
and that's why they were bringing up the race and gender thing and not be tripped up by any of those old beliefs because none of that matters,
Yeah.
and we've just
Yeah.
been taught to fixate on beauty and age and stuff that just really doesn't matter because our soul's eternal. So that's
Yeah.
their role. That's why they're being brought back. And so some of us may actually see them in our reality and others won't, but don't, be upset about that. You have a certain frequency, so you will attract certain beings. And but they are absolutely real and they are very galactic. I would call them the galactics as well because they are that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I was writing down, like, because the Galactics, they're very acceptable now, so it's
Mhm.
like, so we're seeing more of them. Wouldn't it be the same thing with the Sasquatch, that we would be accepting of them, that they would show themselves more, but they have not.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So we haven't gotten to that point of showing our acceptance, or because you don't really have a lot of talk of that.
That's true. I am quite closely tied to the Sasquatch community. I'm part of Facebook groups, and my beautiful brother Sunbow,
Mm,
that's his Sasquatch name or his soul name, really. If
mm,
anybody's interested actually in Sasquatch, I would encourage you to go to the Facebook page Sasquatch Message for Humanity, and there's others he's connected to. His name is Jean Letellier, and I met him at the Sasquatch retreat, although I had been communicating with him long before because he's part of my soul tribe. So he is an expert on this. He embodies this. He communicates with them telepathically all the time. He sees ships. He's an amazing soul. So yes, they are just like, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, they are here to work with us. I will say though, you have to give them a lot of respect and you have to let go of all your preconceived ideas of what a Sasquatch actually is,
Yeah.
and show them a huge amount of respect, because believe it or not, they are very sensitive. And if you disrespect them or, even make a joke about them, they're not going to come to you. They are very reticent. I mean, things are expanding so much that it is not as there's not the separation there used to be, for sure.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they of all the beings are the ones that you have to be patient with and take the time and respect them, because they were, the original inhabitants of Gaia, and they've been given such a bad rap, to be blunt. We wouldn't go rushing back into the arms of someone who disrespected us. We would be
Yeah.
wary at first, so that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying that, because we do, just like we need to respect each other, we really need to respect them. But they are a very real part of this ascension, and they are very keenly interested in it and very active in it, because they have the same heart and soul of love, and they want the best
Mm.
and the greatest good of all
Yeah.
too. So if anybody feels
Mm.
connected to them, continue to do that, because I know I was speaking with someone this morning about Sasquatch, and he was sharing some really beautiful things with me about them, and I was like, yes, this is good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever pulls to you, whatever calls to you, whether it's
Mm.
dragons or Sasquatch or Arcturians, follow that, because
Mm.
that is part of your soul's journey that's being revealed for you to discover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, something else that was interesting, you mentioned the dragons, because I wrote down also like the Sasquatch. What kind of came into my thought was of the fairies and the dragons.
Mhm.
How it was like a myth, even
Yeah.
though that was like somebody had a sighting or whatever, but they really
Mhm.
are this very real, and they are starting to come back into our awareness,
Mhm.
um, since we are ascending and our consciousness is changing and we are accepting more, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
of that. So,
Mhm. They were
yeah,
always there. And even
yeah,
the dragons are similar to the Sasquatch. You have to,
yeah,
they don't show themselves very often to people, and because they are also very high vibrational, high dimensional beings. It's not that they're too good for
yeah,
us or that they don't want to hang out with us. It's not that. They
yeah,
really do, and there are days, other eras where we were one with them. We would
mm,
create with them and play with them and learn from them, and
yeah,
just share communally.
mm,
But yeah, these are real, and the reason why they're in our awareness again is because the veil has been lifted. The truth is coming back, and we're understanding that this is just not a childhood fantasy. This is
yeah,
the whole of creation, and we're no longer separate from anything. We are
mm,
connected to all that is, connected to all the wonders, and so they are coming back, and a lot of us are specifically, you know, sending them love and calling them back and working with them and aware of them. And
mm,
and the children and the fairies right now are really big. This started a few months ago, where the fairies were able to come back through portals and through
mm.
you don't have to be a child to call them back. But I'm childlike enough that it happened fairly instantaneously for
Yeah,
me, because I have always believed, and I've always,
yeah,
like I shared last night, always had fairy objects or pictures or essences in my home. And so I see them all the time. They're back.
yeah, yeah,
I saw them actually last night in my home.
yeah,
So
yeah,
this is all wide open, and it's all fun. And so we don't
yeah,
have to make it too serious or get too tied up in the details, and just allow it to be. And the
yeah,
more we do that, we're letting go of anything that our mind might have to say about that, and just going back into that stillness, that oneness, that childlike wonder of creation.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I love what you said. I mean, it just feels so good, and it just resonates the fact that where we walked with everything and everyone on the planet, and there wasn't just it's just all humans, and we have
Mhm,
animals and stuff. You know how the animals are
mhm,
separate in zoos and things like
mhm.
that. It's such a beautiful thing,
It
for
is.
all of us just to
Mhm,
really walk amongst each other, right, and
mhm,
really look at each other as a soul,
mhm,
as opposed to being male, female,
mhm,
galactic,
mhm,
Sasquatch,
mhm,
and have a label to something,
mhm.
and
That's
just
right.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
enjoying the energy between
Mhm.
each other. So it's just, yeah,
Yeah.
so good. Yeah,
It is so good.
Yeah.
And
Oh, we're
that's
just
the
gonna
magic.
melt right in.
Yes, we'll just sit here and just telepathically
Oh,
continue.
I know, gosh, you just want to melt right in to the,
Mhm,
just
mhm.
just melt right in that. Oh,
Yeah,
such a
it's
good
just like
feeling.
every childhood dream come true. It feels like you're sitting in your grandmother's
Yes,
lap and she's telling you stories and you actually
yes,
portal into that world of magic and wonder. And that's
yeah,
really how it is, just keeping it simple like that.
yeah,
It's because everything is energy and frequency and vibration. That is why we have access to it because we're learning again that,
yeah,
it's as simple as that. The whole universe is made upon energy, frequency, and vibration. So whatever
yeah,
frequency or vibration you want to connect to, you can just by holding that intention or visualizing it or remembering it or just being happy about how you feel about it, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's so wonderful.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Ooh, that's so good. So good. I don't have any other questions on the Sasquatch. That pretty much answered my questions.
Okay.
Do they have anything that they want to share? Or,
They're I don't feel them close. I do feel them from a distance and they're thanking us and sending us love. They
oh,
have a
that's
very
awesome.
deep frequency. It's so different than any other
Yeah,
else. I just love them. Um,
yeah.
yes, they want me to share something. They're saying, okay. They're saying we're a lot more fun than you portrayed us, and I need to share a story about that. So yes, you guys are right. You are right. I will share. Even though I was saying they're a bit reticent and we need to be respectful of them, they are a lot of fun. So I will give you a specific example of that. There was one day I went to the mountains I took my bag of crystals and I was just going to go play. But I did go out there to specifically connect to them because that's when I was really working closely with them. And so I went out and played with my crystals and spoke light language and, whatever happened. It was just great, and I asked them to come in. Oh, I remember, yes. I took my traditional shamanic tools, sage, my drum, my shaman wand that I had made with specific crystals, and I went out and I basically just partied with them, and I said, "Let's bring in the highest frequencies," because the Rocky
Oh,
Mountains have such magic, and I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours sitting out there with the trees and watching all of a sudden just sitting there and meditating and all of a sudden a tree branch will go "Woo," like for no reason. There's no wind, right? So I saw so
yeah.
many physical signs. And so it was almost addicting where I wanted to go out and just sit there and be in that magic because the energy out there is so clear. There's no city, no collective really stuff going on. It's just pure mountain, angelic, galactic, elemental energy. So I was out there doing this really traditional smoke and drum ceremony with them and speaking light language and then I just felt really good. I don't ever make it complicated. I just follow my heart, just like we're doing on this show. Like you said,
Yeah.
you just go with the flow, just followed my heart.
Mm,
I sang with them and connected with them when I was drumming, and I could see them dancing around, and it just
mm.
felt amazing. So on the way home, this is what they want me to share. On the way home, I was cranking the tunes in the car, some really funky, almost rap music, and I saw them because I was going through the mountain corridor, and on either side, they were being so goofy, and they were dancing, and they were like, "Ho, ho, ho," like rapping to the
Yeah,
beat, like
yeah,
almost
yeah.
beatboxing. I laughed, and I was in that energy all the way home. It was so much fun. They don't
Oh my
often
gosh.
follow past the mountains, because they are very elemental and they love Gaia, so they stay there. But I
Yeah.
was in another dimension with them and just enjoying their beats because they love the beats because they're,
Yeah.
very
Earthy.
instinctively
That seems like
earthy
it.
that way,
Yeah.
right? And they
Yeah.
communicate with trees and rocks and everything with that sort of frequency. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they urged me to share that
Yes.
because it's very fun and it goes with the lighthearted energy we have already. So yes, not
Yeah.
to ever limit any being on being a certain way, to always respect them, but to, know that yeah, just like my Arcturians were being all goofy before we started. They even have a sense of humor
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well,
And
God has
laugh,
a sense of humor, so I mean,
right?
everybody has, you know what I mean? It's so, yes,
And the frequency of
yeah, it's
joy
so
and
awesome.
laughter is
Yeah,
so high. So, so high.
yeah,
And like we were saying last
yeah,
night, there's a frequency and a color to everything, but the frequency of joy is just really right up there. It's amazing.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
Sasquatch are
Well,
joyful
and it's
beings.
so exactly, and if we could, because we're so used to in this consciousness right here, and on this level where we're at of seeing, right? Of when you see something, you automatically make an assessment, right? And
Mhm.
so if we can just take the time to really see one another and everything as pure energy, just being the energy, it makes it much easier to have that acceptance, you know.
Yes, because then you
Yeah,
move past that awkward stage when you first meet somebody and
yeah,
you just only see the physical form. But if you can connect straight to their soul, it
yeah,
just transcends everything, and then there's no awkwardness because you're just locked into their frequency and you know what they're about.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
So cool.
very good point.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Tell them so. Thank you so much for that
Mhm.
joyous dance and the story. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I'm
love
glad
that.
they showed me that. That was great.
Yeah, and it's good to share that so that we have forming that into our consciousness of what they are, because I don't think we've really ever, I mean, I've never talked about them, you know what I mean, on a show or anything like that, because it just never really came up. So I think it's really good, especially where we're at in this time, to bring all these up, that, the
Mhm.
fairies and the dragons, that all the stuff that we think is a myth and fairy tale is really very, very real, and it's
Absolutely.
just that
Mhm.
because of where we were at, that they left, you know,
Mhm.
they couldn't be in that energy.
That's
And
right.
so, yeah,
Mhm.
and now we're coming to a different place that we can all, where we are going,
Mhm.
energetically. So, yeah,
Mhm.
it's amazing.
Yeah. And the more we let go of those old paradigms and the beliefs that we're separate from everything, the higher our
Yeah,
frequency goes and the more we can connect with them.
yeah,
And the more signs we will get.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
people look at the clouds and they see dragons and I have a dear friend who does that every day and he's actually connecting with them.
yeah,
Or if you want to go connect with the fairies,
yeah.
this is what I do. I want to share this. I've made a fairy house made of simple natural elements, you know, sticks, well, I would call them wands. Made of made of free fall branches from the trees and little flowers that I find and bits of bark and pine cones and pine needles, and my son and I maintain this all the time, and this fairy house has been there for 3 years. And so I
Wow.
go there and I just sit there and I just go into my childlike wonder and I don't care 'cause there's a lot of really macho dudes that walk around and play disc golf there, and they probably think I've
Yeah.
lost my mind. But I don't care because that's my sacred corridor, and so that is how you connect with a certain essence. You say, "What would a fairy do?" basically, and connect to that lighthearted frequency. So what would a dragon
Yeah.
do? Fly around and be fierce,
Yeah.
and that's how you start, and then you understand that it's a lot more quantum and amazing than that, but that's what I do because,
Yeah.
I'm a fairy and I connect with the fairies. I've built them several houses and I go maintain them, and sometimes I leave them little gifts, and it's just fun. Why
Yeah.
not? Why not?
Exactly.
Because
Right.
when we grow up, we have to be an adult and we're all serious about it and we have to pay the bills. And I mean, really, yes, we still have to do that. But
Yeah.
that's what keeps me so happy and sane and goofy and silly and youthful is just connecting to that, what I just described, and
Yeah.
literally creating things with my hands in this dimension or I'm building something else in another dimension, but the fairies are there because I play with them. It's that
Yeah.
simple. And
Yeah.
just like children have imaginary friends, those friends
Yes.
are not imaginary.
No. Yeah. Very real.
Friends are
Yeah.
real. Yeah. So
Good point.
that's
Yeah.
mm,
Very good point to bring up. Yeah. Now, do you have a house the houses that you could actually go into, or are they smaller where you sit next to them?
They're
Are they big
miniature.
enough to where you can go in? They're miniature.
No,
Okay.
yeah, they're miniature.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, you could probably shrink yourself like Alice in Wonderland. Why
I
not?
know.
You know?
I was talking about that the other day. I said I'm going to become a pocket fairy so I can travel the
Yeah.
world and everything.
Just hop in the pockets. I want to be
Yeah,
Tinkerbell. I just want to spread, sprinkle,
that's right.
love all
Mhm.
over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yes. I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh,
Mhm,
so wonderful. Wow. That's so beautiful. Thank you for that.
mhm.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. So, next, the
Yes,
government. Yes. The
yes, monocracy.
mono-
This one isn't
monocracy.
quite as humorous and lighthearted, but it's still really
Yes.
grounded in truth. So we'll go there. But first, they're guiding me to say, yes, this show is about the Galactics, absolutely, and this is all tied in, and we're supposed to be talking about all of this. But they want me to remind people that each soul's mission is different. So you may have a cosmic mission, you may have a galactic mission, you may have an elemental mission, you may have a Gaia
Yes.
mission. Yeah, so honor what calls to you naturally. So this may be intriguing and interesting for a lot of people, but you may not have a galactic mission like I do. Spaceships may not be your thing. You might be intrigued by it and you're not a disbeliever and you're sort of neutral about it. That's
Yes.
fine. But you may have a bigger cosmic mission where you understand the quantum theories and you can explain it really well and it makes sense to you. Or like my
Yeah.
friend Natalie, who's got an extremely strong, beautiful connection to Gaia. That's
Mm.
her thing. But yet we are all things. So never ever limit yourself to just one specific thing. But they wanted me to mention that. And that goes with what we talked about last night, to never ever compare yourself to anyone else and just honor
Yeah.
your own beauty, your own essence, and your own creatorship and your own magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you guys
Yeah.
for
Thank
that.
you for sharing that. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good point.
Mhm. All right. The monocracy. That word was given to me quite some time ago by a Lemurian being who showed me very complex English, please. Structures.
Yeah. No graphs.
Yes, no graphs tonight, please. Energetic structures and relationships and collaborations and so on of how the new earth can be. And so he gave me the word monocracy. And, we all like democracy because that means that people have a voice. But the word monocracy is the root word is mono, which means one, mono. And he's saying that is what we're working towards. It's a monocracy where all are equal and there is harmony and there's no greed and there's no political parties and no, race, age, religion, gender, all of that stuff. None of that matters. And so that's the word he gave me. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. I get that.
Yeah.
I feel that. And I just sort of understood where he was going with that. So that ties in with what the Galactics gave me on this particular subject about the dirty word government. So it's being replaced and recreated. And so I will read verbatim again, like I did with the other 2 points, and then we can talk about what they had to say. There will be specific orders being brought back, such as the Order of the Knights, specific brotherhoods, sisterhoods, specific groups regardless of gender, but there will be specific ancient orders that used to be able to maintain the balance. I'm not sure what that means. To be the professors and teachers. This does not necessarily mean the return of new bodies or souls to the planet, but more so that the ones that are already here will form and lead and spearhead these ancient orders and groups once again. This will be in place of the government that we are used to. There are groups that will be specifically in charge of civic groups, say for cities and communities, and then groups for what would replace the upper levels of leadership, the equivalent of the Senate, the Congress, the House of Commons for Canadians, and then the high dimensional beings who will take the place of the president, the prime minister, and so on. And this is the end of this information for now, as they told me. They said I'm not allowed to reveal anything else for the moment as it would be counterintuitive to the plan. But really, that's all really exciting because I
Yeah.
know You know, like for example, Rick is working on that hardcore. You know, let's remove the distortion and the misinformation, and let's bring equality for all. And that's really the essence of what I channeled from them. And I think it's really beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
it's who wouldn't love a knight riding in on
Yeah.
shiny?
Right. Yes.
You know, but there won't be a need for policing necessarily, but there's still, like
Yeah.
we were talking about last night, there's still structure to creation. There's still the law of gravity, the cause and effect that we were talking about. There's still a structure and order within creation. So this is the essence of what they were showing me. And it's not that it's equality. It's not that anybody is greater than or more educated than or more qualified than, but certain
Mm.
people will be asked to step into those roles because that's their soul's mission. And so we honor that. So some of us will be just the normal citizen walking around New Earth being happy. And then there are others who will be, you know, like the mayors of the city. And but
Mm.
nobody's gonna care because there's no ego, right? But they
Yeah.
are telling us that they are specific people who will be raised to those or nominated for those positions because that's their soul's mission, their soul's contract. But what really
Mm.
got me excited was the ancient orders coming back again. And they when they said new ancient orders, I said, isn't that an oxymoron? Because the
Yeah.
new and ancient, right?
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
they were showing me was the intention, the essence of those original groups, like the sacred mystery schools. And I know ISIS had some really beautiful sacred temples and mystery schools, and even Jesus was initiated through a lot of those unknown temples and mystery schools, and
Yeah.
he spent, you know, most of his young life being trained and really intense training. So this is the essence of that ancient knowledge that
Mm.
they want to bring back, and there will be specific beings, as they said, people that are already here, souls that are already here, who will remember and rise to that occasion and share that freely. Because I personally think that's intriguing, and that gives me the shivers because, yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to be a
Yeah.
modern day priestess in a beautiful temple that
Yeah.
had rituals and sang
Yeah.
amazing light language music and, you know, whatever the essence is, they wouldn't show me more, but that will be replacing the really stinky government that we have that's based on greed
Yeah.
and a lot of BS anyway, because we all know
Yeah.
that, you know, the 1% versus the 99 kind of thing. But that's all being removed. We don't have to worry and linger in that energy at all. This is this is the goal, the part of the plan to bring in the new earth, really, essentially.
Yeah. What's the timeline on that? Is there a timeline?
That is part of the juicy bit that I'm not allowed to
Uh,
reveal.
oh
Mm.
gosh. Oh yes.
But again, they're reminding me that we are on the highest trajectory, like we are on, you know, we've well past the tipping point, like they said last night. And to be
Yeah.
open, you know, like we're on a trajectory right now, and then the next moment we may be on a different one. It may be a faster one, or maybe we have to press the pause button and take care of something and so on. But it is the general feeling of it, it is like they said, the ascension process is progressing faster than what initially was thought could happen. So
Yeah.
stay open.
Yeah. Yeah.
But really now we've unlocked so many keys and so much magic in such a short human period of time.
Yeah.
When you look at the whole universal picture of how many thousands and thousands and thousands of years that Gaia was in darkness and that
Yeah.
humankind thought that they were separate and that they were slaves, you
Yeah.
look at that and that is really astounding.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're showing me the Fibonacci sequence
Ooh.
where the dots are
Yes.
really far apart. We'll go reverse, really far apart, and then with the sacred geometry, the golden ratio, the golden phi ratio,
Mhm.
you know, the dots become more and more closer together, really, and they're showing me that that is the progression. So that's really cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Love that. So we're Fibonacci sequencing our way through
Yeah.
this, and the dots are getting closer.
Closer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you think too that we don't want to rush anything. We can't anyway.
No.
I mean, it's really out of our control, so to speak, but yet we are a part of that,
Hmm.
participating in that.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
I think
no.
it'll be whatever timeline it's supposed to be, and
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it will for
yeah,
sure. But
yeah,
we have already unlocked so much of this joy and wonder just by being together and sharing the space that alone, that frequency alone, however many people are here, has
yeah,
just anchored that in, that intention and that feeling,
yeah,
that essence, that frequency, that vibration has just
yeah,
progressed it that much further. So everybody that can connect to that, and that is why they say so much to stay in love and do not go to fear, because when you
yeah,
stay in this childlike wonder, and yeah, I believe it's going to happen. And in the meantime, I'm going to go play with my wands or my fairies or my dragons or my Sasquatch.
yeah,
You're bringing
yeah,
that in, and it is progressing faster because of you, because you hold that powerful intention. So
yeah.
let's keep doing it.
Absolutely. That's why I love doing these shows, because I think when, or even in conversations with people, when you're having those conversations, it is
Mhm,
going out into, the energy is going out into the sphere. And so I
mhm,
think that it does, I not think, but I feel it changes that.
mhm.
So the more that we can do that. So yeah,
Absolutely, it does. Yeah. And it
yeah,
was like when we started the show and we were visualizing our unity and oneness and expanding past our house into our city,
yeah,
across the globe, and then completely universally. It's the same thing that's happening right now.
yeah,
Yeah. Just
yeah,
by holding the space together. And that's why it's really important for like mass meditations or, when certain way showers do spearhead that and they say like on Sunday at this time, we're all just going to sit quietly and hold hands in the astrals and just keep that frequency. That's why it is so powerful, because we were told that, none of us have a voice and none of us matter. And so we basically had a why bother attitude. We'll just be
yeah,
miserable, right? But
yeah,
really, every single person matters when it comes to that, because the power of that oneness is just transcendent. It just
yeah,
blows and blasts everything that is a lower frequency just right out of existence.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and everybody's doing their part too. Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
of the angels that are doing, you're out there doing portal work, you're out there doing energetic work, so there's a lot
Mhm.
of beings that are actually out there doing a lot of and taking care of a lot of that stuff too,
Yeah.
whatever their mission is,
Mhm.
so which is awesome. Yeah.
Very awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be very cool to see, and just the feel of that is just, when you talk about equality and you talk about oneness and unity and love, it
Mhm.
feels really, really good.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for that for sure.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yes.
And the
Yes,
cool
yes,
thing
yes.
is we don't
Anything
have to
else?
well, the cool thing is that we don't have to wait for 5D to fully integrate with our reality. We don't have to wait for New Earth or whatever it is your vision of that. We're experiencing that now. And yes, we're still clearing the human template and we're still clearing out old programs. And there's a lot of very specific work, like they were referring to the plan last night, very specific, highly sophisticated intelligence happening right now. But in the meantime, we can still access that and we can still carry that in our beings, in our essences,
Yeah,
and we can still have heaven on earth right
yeah,
here, right now. We
yeah,
don't have to wait for some major event or solar flash. All of this is important, absolutely, not
yeah,
negating that at all. But we don't have to wait. And that's why they urge us all the time to live in the moment, because
yeah,
things change from moment to moment. But the moment between breaths is so powerful.
yeah,
There's something about that that not all of us have really locked into, but it is the moments are so powerful, and that's why not to fixate on a date or a certain person's message or a timeline, even though we are given that information as we need it,
yeah,
because then we can all
yeah,
collectively go, okay, so we're doing this.
yeah,
Like Rick creating the divine tasking group, for example, in Real Angels. There's a reason he did that, because he
yeah,
wants us all to come together to, you know, open a portal somewhere. So
yeah,
absolutely. But in the moment, between missions like that, just hold the frequency and know it's happening and be joyful.
yeah,
And I'm speaking to myself as I say this too, because I have moments where, I'm not always high vibe and I'm tired and I'm not joyful and,
Yeah.
but it's just more clearing or just simply being tired and needing to rest because I haven't honored my
Yeah.
body or whatever. But moment to moment, you can reset everything. Let's say I'm cranky 5 minutes ago, but I can reset that into pure joy in the next 5 minutes. If I had a rough month, I'm going to say, well, the next month is going to be better. I'm going to set that
Exactly.
intention. You can reset anything at any time just because you're feeling something and allow yourself to feel it does
Yeah.
not mean you have to stay there.
Right. It's a choice if you do.
Yes, you can shift out of
When
it.
you know it's a choice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah.
So awesome. So
Mhm.
awesome. Can't wait
Yes.
to see that. Well, what I mean, I can wait, but
Yes. Yeah.
it feels really good. So just to keep
Mhm.
holding that feeling of what it is.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. Anything else you want to share on the government or the new ancient orders?
They're telling
Anything
me
else
one
you
more
want to share?
thing about the orders. There are key holders that are about to be activated. So that's cool. So that means those souls who came here with that frequency or have trained for that will all of a sudden remember and they'll start stepping
Wow.
into their power. So perhaps some are
Woo.
being activated
Amazing.
right now, tonight, listening to this, or something similar to this somewhere else. But yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I don't have any other question. We could go into question and answer
let's do it.
if you don't have anything else.
Yeah,
You good?
we'll check in with the Galactics before we end the show to see if there's anything else. But right now, it feels like question and answer for sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
perfect. Okay. So I'm going to get to the one from last night. Anne, her question is, why are we, those who don't hear our higher self or angels, receiving any signs of hope that things are changing? I see many losing hope, getting depressed, and even one friend who ended her life. What is the purpose of their not letting us know, the ones who are not telepathic and haven't been able to hold a constant higher vibration? I know they can and know how, and I have asked, so there must be a purpose they are withholding.
Hmm. I don't honestly feel that it is a withholding of information. It feels more of a personal soul. I'm going to connect to that soul now. It feels like more of a personal soul message because we have access to everything. And I know I'm sounding kind of cliche there, but that whoever asked that question needs to be gentle with themselves and disconnect from that we are not connected, that's separation. And this is not a disciplinary word at all. There's so much love coming through for that soul.
Mm,
It's just a reminder and a gentle nudge to disconnect from what you see around you and go inside and look at your own personal journey and don't look at it as a collective gloom and doom sort of thing. Because, I mean, definitely, I acknowledge that that is her truth and that does happen. You see people that are just going lower instead of higher. But what they're saying is
mm,
for her to go inside, take as much time as she needs and feel everything that she needs to feel and honor that and not say, well, I should be feeling lighter and happier. I should be feeling this or that. Honor what comes up and feel it and be human and cry and rage if you need to. But you're going to be clearing that because I'm seeing very clearly it is not a block from source or the galactics or her team or her guides or her angels. It's just that that's something that she can remove. She is empowered enough to do so. So she can remove it by taking one step. And even if that is saying, I believe, or I am connected, or simply I am. In fact, that would be good. Say I am several times a day whenever this comes up and whenever you feel that people aren't getting it or you're not getting it and you're missing out. Reset yourself and say I am and just leave it at that, because the power of those words and the power of that frequency will help you clear and help you reset. And it's all there. It's all, I just see it. It's all inside of her. It just hasn't been unlocked yet. It's all there. It's ready. It's like the green buds that we saw yesterday, Linda, like that green essence. It's ready to bloom. She just needs to like just slow it down and spend a lot of really beautiful time in quietness and connected to, just only connect to those. If you need to find new friends, then that's great, or a new soul tribe, then that's good. But there are people who can assist you with that. This isn't a solitary journey for you, but you still have to go within and gently sweep away those blocks. And with reset with every breath if you need to, and say I am, and then watch it happen. But yes, for her, whoever asked that question, call in your soul tribe.
Yeah, that was
because there are people who can help you with this. So you're not being asked to do it on your own, because that's what got you here in the first place.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answered the question. Yeah, that was a channeled message for her. So hopefully that helps her.
Thank you, Anne, for sharing that. And I, you guys on the chat box here, there's questions that were posed yesterday that I did not get to that were on Conscious Talk Radio. So I'm going to do those first, and then I'm going to get to the questions here. So hopefully I will be able to scroll down to get those, because we have 3 here. So the next one is Leslie. The Galactics, the ones that are family, are they our original family? If I have been reincarnating on Earth for thousands of years, how can they still be here? Thank you, Leslie.
There's sort of 2 questions there. Can you read the first part of the question, and then we'll go to the second part? The Galactics being our family.
The Galactics, the ones that are our family, are they our original family?
Okay. Usually, remember what I shared about the Pleiadians, right? I was so connected to them, and I knew I was a Pleiadian, and I do have a Pleiadian aspect. But when I learned I was from Arcturus, I had some resistance with that, because no, I'm Pleiadian.
No. Yeah.
I even look like a Pleiadian, for Pete's sake.
Yes.
But yes, most of the time, the answer I'm receiving is most of the time, yes, you have had a connection. Now, remember, we are all things, and we have often incarnated in many star systems. So, for example, like me, I've got the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Pleiadians here. They're all my family. I've all spent time with them, but I do originate from Arcturus. So hopefully that answers her question. Just, do what I did, practice discovering their frequency, ask them questions. It's a 2-way street, communicate with them and do your own discoveries. That's really, really what they're pushing people to do right now is, it's good to share information, absolutely, but always search on your own and you will be amazed at what you discover. And that is simply trusting your own knowing, and you can ask them, give me a sign. Or do like I do, color code things, purple, yellow, blue, silver,
Yeah.
I ask them for really basic shapes and colors and forms sometimes if I can't identify a new group that's coming in. I say, help me out here. I'm learning a new language, sort of thing. So that's how Leslie can discover. But to answer your question, generally the overall answer is yes, whoever you connect to is your family. You've got some sort of connection to them for sure.
And then the second part is, if I have been reincarnating on Earth for thousands of years, how can they still be here?
Well, there's no such thing as time.
Right.
And timelines run concurrently. So I'm not certain of what she's actually asking, but they have always been around. They're ageless, just like we are. Their souls are eternal. So that's how they've always been here. Because we are living out several realities at once. It's very quantum, but several timelines at once. There's aspects of us that are doing stuff as we're sitting here talking. My Pleiadian aspect is off on a ship over the North Pole right now. You know, so it's also quantum and mind blowing, but you trust the process. So that's how we've had thousands and thousands of lifetimes, and that's how they've always been here, because we're eternal. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. And then the last one, Serge, his question is the Sasquatch. Since they take care of nature, can you tell us more on their role with nature and you and us from now on to the future rise of vibration? Future rise of vibration. Does that make sense?
Kind of. I'm sorry, could you read that
Yeah.
again?
So it says she mentioned a message from the Sasquatch. Since they take care of nature, can she tell us more on their role with nature and us from now on to the future rise of vibration?
Okay. It was
Thank
actually
you.
Serge that I was talking to and I was referring to earlier. So this is cool. Any other
Oh,
questions? Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Okay, as I originally said, they were here on Gaia before we were, so they are stewards of Gaia. That is why they're tied to nature, because they essentially created this. They helped create this. They were the co-creators of this planet we're on. That is why like I was sharing my experience, why I find them in the mountains, because they're in their element there, even though they're in a slightly higher dimension than us. That's why they are so tied to nature and they're so elemental, because they help create it and they have a deep love for it. What was the last part of his question? There was one little phrase at the end there. Sorry, Linda.
Oh, because the rise of vibration. With the rise, how can with their nature and us with the rise of the vibration?
We probably already answered that when we were talking about them. Because they are so high dimensional and their vibration is so high and they're extremely telepathic and extremely intelligent, let's go back to the everything is energy and frequency and vibration. You know, for example, let's just say that they're ninth dimensional beings. That, don't quote me on that. I'm just throwing that number out there. I'm not channeling that. And we're fifth dimensional. We can communicate a lot more effectively than if they're 12th, then we're third, right? So as we raise our vibration, they will be able to transmit messages and frequencies and telepathic messages, because we will be able to get bips and bleeps, sort of like Morse code in the beginning maybe, but some people, like my friend Sunbo, receives full on channeled messages from them, and they're elegant and amazing and very detailed. So you know, it's the same thing. As we raise our vibration, we can connect to any being, Sasquatch, dragon, as we've all talked about. So yeah.
Ooh, yes, awesome. Love it. Thank you for that, Serge. Okay, Mihu, why didn't the Galactic help us many years ago? What took so long?
Why didn't they help
Thank
us many years ago?
you. Yeah, why didn't the Galactic help us many years ago? Why did it take so long to start helping us? Because now they're showing themselves and they're helping us.
In essence, they did not have our consent. We were not aware that we were separate from them. We didn't feel like we needed their help. We thought we were just living these lives and everybody dies, and you know, there's as the saying used to go, there's nothing certain except death and taxes. We now know that that's all bogus, right? So that is why they didn't help us, because we weren't ready, and we weren't communicating with them, and we didn't give them our consent. And the high vibrational galactics would never go against free will. They have the greatest good of all in mind. So that is why. And part B or part two of that answer is the plan wasn't initiated yet. So this whole divine, cosmic, sophisticated intelligence that we've been talking about had not been initiated. Of course, there's been sightings, and a lot of the UFO stuff has been, redacted. It has not been made available to anybody, and everybody was just told they were just seeing stuff. But there were a few believers out there who held true, and they were like, no, I know this is real. So they've always been here, but it just was not the freedom and the frequency to do so. Yeah, they just couldn't. They were very extremely aware of us. Of course they knew, because we're connected to them so strongly, but it just couldn't happen until a certain point. So yeah. That's the answer.
And plus, weren't we really using them? I mean, when I was watching that interview with Billy Woodward, he was talking about how, he was brought in there and the dark forces were really trying to get information as to how we could, so they were working on them,
Yeah.
that they had landed or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
doing, I want to say biopsy, but I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the correct word. So we knew of them, but weren't really connecting with them in the way that we are now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of you guys cleaning up all the dark stuff,
Mm-hmm.
of that dark energy. So yeah,
Yes.
it's
Well, that was
interesting.
also prior to the galactic traffic being cleaned up. There were a
Ah,
lot of, I do believe in the abductions, I do believe in the biopsies and the experiments, and uh, that was not, a free will thing. There were people that were taken against their will, and things were, I, I strongly believe that.
yeah,
But that was before all of this shift occurred, and that's, when I was saying the Andromedans are my portal guardians, that was before any of that was happening. These not lower necessarily, there were specific beings who were curious about us and wanted to collect data and wanted to make hybrids and a lot of weird and wild stuff going on. And it really did happen. But those days are
yeah,
over.
yeah,
Those highways, those galactic highways have been shut down. Those portals
yeah.
have been closed. Nothing comes and goes without a higher intelligence knowing about it. We will get
Awesome.
to the point where it's, a free universe as well as, the freedom we're talking about as humans. We will get to that point.
Yes,
We're very close to being there. But I want everybody to know there is no fear. That kind of stuff is not happening anymore. It's just
yes.
simply not
Thank you
allowed
for
to.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Because I know several people who have been in that situation where they were abducted, and yeah.
Yeah.
So thank
Mm-hmm.
you for that. It's awesome. Thank you. Great question.
Mm-hmm.
Monica, can you help me understand what I'm supposed to be doing, but sitting still and not knowing any way to move forward? And I believe her. Well, she has a second question to that.
Okay.
Oh, do we say the second question, or you want to
Oh
do the
yeah.
first one first?
Oh, okay. I
Okay,
thought.
so the second question.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I was
I was
just writing
waiting.
down her second one. Yeah, because her
Okay.
second question is who is her galactic family?
Okay.
So
All right. Well, let's go back to the first one. Why is she sitting still? She feels like she's sitting still.
yeah, and not knowing any way to move forward, help her understand why what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, thank
I'm
you,
seeing
Monica.
flowers, so perhaps you work with flowers or you
Ooh,
have a garden. Maybe let me ask for more, but I'm seeing you something about you and flowers. They're saying to just start creating. So you're not getting any specific galactic, cosmic, Gaia mission. That's okay. You have one. But just start creating, doing what you love and what's in front of you that brings you joy. Um, it feels like you're in a I just see you staying in the same place, like you feel like you can't even go out of your yard. And I don't know if that's literal, but it feels like you feel boxed in. I'm feeling that now. I'm connecting to what you're saying. I'm asking why and if we can help you with that. That's funny. Sometimes they're very point blank. They say, "Well, why don't you just walk out the gate?"
oh,
So I'm seeing her in the yard with her flowers, and but they said, "Why don't you just walk out the gate?" So that really means is take a step. You may not know the direction you're going in, but take the literal step. And by you doing that, you're moving the energy and you're getting the energy going. But by you thinking that you are sitting still in this quiet place, you're sitting still in the quiet place and you're not receiving answers. So they're saying very clearly, take a literal step, walk out of your yard, and then, ask. Keep asking the questions. But yeah, that's I got that very strongly and very quickly. To physically move, physically create, take the step, and one step leads to the other. And I did share that about my own personal life last night. One step led to the other. I did not have the bigger picture ever in any time, which was good because I would have been overwhelmed, and then I would have skipped all the lessons I needed to learn, right? So they're asking her to just have faith and literally take the step and whatever movement you need to do, but get some movement, get the energy going, try something new, even go to a movie. Don't make it serious and don't make it like you're failing because you're not. You came here perfect. Your being here is enough, like I tell everybody. Okay, now I'm going to ask about who's her galactic family. Syrian. It's
Our
the
soul
Syrian.
family.
Yeah, the soul family or galactic
Yeah.
family?
Soul family. Who is her soul family? Sorry. My bad.
Well, I asked the question galactic family and I got Syrian, so she's got an extra answer there.
Oh, sorry. Well,
That's
I
fine.
figured soul, galactic, they were all the same, but I guess they're not.
That could be what she means.
Um,
Syrian and her soul family. There's something white going on. There's a bunch of white beings, so that's all I'm being shown, but they're tied to the Syrian family. So, and I'm seeing them as physically incarnated. So perhaps she's one of those ancient orders being brought back. I don't know. That is not a channeled message. That was just a question mark, just so she knows. But they really want her to just, make her own discovery and to take that step and get the energy moving, and then say, okay, what's next?
Yeah. Cool. Thank you,
Mhm.
Monica.
Mhm.
Nisa, I was told last night that one of guides is Arturian. I was given a name. I was given I want to say given a name, Vessel G. Gops. Could you please channel a message for this being?
I can confirm you do have an Arcturian guide, and I see that guide. I will ask if there's a message that I'm able to share. He says you are beautiful, and by beautiful, he means your entire soul essence. He walks very close to you. He gives you your space, like he's not spoon feeding you. He gives you your space. He wants you to, he's not a hoverer. He doesn't hover over you, but he's always there. Like, he never leaves you. But he wants that's about the empowerment. He's empowering her, still there and still giving her clues and guides, but not um, allowing her the space to come into her own empowerment by discovering things with his help, obviously, but really on her own too. He is showing me something else. It looks like a gate, although I'm seeing it as a white metal sort of H object. So I'm asking if it's a gate, can it be opened? I'm seeing you stop there. So perhaps what he's showing me is that you are in a 0 point, but that's what it feels like. You're in a 0 point where things are being reset, but you're going to walk through the gate. Is that yes? Yeah, he confirmed that is yes. So if you're in a point where you feel like nothing's happening, just trust because you're about to walk through it. Is there anything further for Nisa? He really adores you. He just put a laurel leaf of like a crown of beautiful flowers on your head. So just enjoy that. Enjoy that relationship with him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Thank you, Nisa, for that great question. Thank you. Next question, Junior said, you said the Sasquatch were originally inhabitants of the realm. Are some of them originally from a planet called Maldek and Inner Earth? Thank you, Junior.
Yes, they're definitely connected to Inner Earth. Maldek I've never heard of, so I'm going to turn the volume in my mind off and ask. They are showing me a planet. It's quite distant. It feels like it's on the edge of the Milky Way or even beyond that. No, they're pulling me back in. I can't confirm Meldeck Junior. I'm not getting that, but they are showing me a planet. Yes, that is their home. Like, but it's really, really, the energy I feel is really far away and really distant. That does not necessarily mean light years. It can mean both. It can mean light years and sometimes I wish I could just speak like language and let it be. Just like let her rip.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish we could understand it so and kind of know what it is. We need somebody to translate it. Like, have they have translators, you know, when they speak different languages?
I know,
Okay,
right?
on the show, that's the next thing we're going to do. Get a translator who knows how to translate light language.
Yes, and
I would
good
love
one.
that. That would be a great
That
show.
would be so great. That would be so great.
Yes.
Okay, I have to go back
Oh,
to Junior. I don't
okay,
really
sorry.
mind because I was getting distracted by that visual. Yeah, that's all they're showing me, so I'm not gonna, make anything up. I do see a
Yeah.
planet, and I cannot confirm that, but it feels fine. It doesn't. Nothing feels off about that. So perhaps you've nailed it already. But yes, the inner Earth connection with them is also very strong.
Who's?
With the Sasquatch and the Agarthans, they're very connected. The inner Earth beings and the Sasquatch, yes, because the Agarthans are inside Mama Earth's belly, right?
Yeah,
And the
it's true.
Sasquatch are all about Mama Earth.
Gaia,
So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Yeah. Wow. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Junior. Mihu has another question. Can you tell us who our starseed family is?
She's probably referring to herself, right?
Yes, I'm
sure.
assuming she is.
Okay.
I just read it as she did it, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's a mixture here. There's not just one group. So they are very specific when they answer. So if she would have asked where's my point of origin, they would say, but the star family, so you have several. There's some that I don't recognize, to be honest, so I will ask if I'm given a name. Antaran and Lyran are the ones that I recognize. They're very small and very lighthearted, the other ones. So yeah, it's not one I've connected to before, but they feel good. They feel really good. They're very small and playful, almost like 3 feet tall kind of thing, with very round heads. So I just share as I see. So maybe she can discover that. Yeah, very playful though. Hopefully that will help her answer her question.
Thank you, Kalia. Thank you, Mihu. Marilyn, a friend of my son's was killed in a car accident along with 3 others. He was very spiritual. His mother found a letter from him saying he didn't have much time left, so he knew. I am thinking now that he was needed to help with this shift.
Yes, I get full-on body chill confirmation that he knew, and that was part of his agreement. So, yes, and he's still around. He's very high dimensional, but he is still around. And yes, he is actively. I see him activating members of that family. That is what he knew, that he would be more effective being on the other side, and so he agreed to that, even though it was traumatic. But he said they have been sent help. They have been given what they needed, even though there's still a traumatic imprint. But he would, with their consent, he would like to send in a team to help remove that energetic imprint that left some trauma there. There's still some left, especially with the mom and a sibling. But yes, he agreed. So know that he's perfectly fine. He's absolutely like pure high vibe, and he is still aware of them. He is not a soul-bound spirit, so that means he is not stuck in a reality that he's just desperate to help his family. He comes and goes as he pleases, but he goes very high, but he comes back to check in on them, and he's got it. He says he's got it covered. He's got them covered, and yes, he is active in this process, but very specifically activating certain family members as they need it. That's cool.
Yes, it's very cool. Thank you, Kalia. Thank you, Marilyn, for that question. Junior has another question. James Gillard Gilland says there's a galactic ship here full feline beings who are the galactic police here to enforce universal law. Remote views by someone called John Vivacano. Is this true?
Yes, the Lyrans are definitely here with ships. Absolutely. In fact, they are some of the ones that come and go through our Sun's Stargate. I did not know from my human standpoint that they were galactic police, but I will just check quickly because I do know there is such a thing. Like when I say my Andromedans are the portal guards, they are like the galactic portal police. If you want, yeah, if you want to label them, you know, they're cool with that. They are all things, but that information doesn't feel off. We'll start with that. And I am getting confirmation that there are still those beings that have agreed to serve that role because we're still removing stuff. You know, it's not doom and gloom. There's no Armageddon, but we're still taking care of business, clearing what needs to be cleared. So overall, the answer to Junior is yes. Yes, I'm not seeing it specifically, but the energy of that protective feeling is definitely there. But it's not a panic and not a SWAT team, you know, like shields up, guys. It's just like, we got this.
Just making sure nobody else gets through that's not supposed to be. Awesome. Love that. Thank you. Gloria, thank you for all the galactic information updates. I am also an Archerian. I know I am going through changes with my mission, but not sure as to what is next. Thank you, Gloria.
Well, she's about to be leveled up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, leveled up, like when you say leveled up.
Like, universal changes. So she's done the work. She's been faithful. She's believed and trusted. She's in it. She's jumped in with both feet. There, I see a little white blip in her progression, which meant that she had to. Is she in it now, or just came through it? Something very recent, where she had sort of a pause period, but that was because she was getting activated and downloads and stuff. So now she's just about to emerge from that phase and vault.
Nice.
Yeah,
there you go.
And I've been there too, Gloria, where I was like, why did everything suddenly just get quiet? What's going on? You know, like action. But I trusted it, and then all of a sudden one thing led to the other, and I just like they're giving me a visual of a trampoline where you bounce and you bounce and you bounce, and then someone double bounces you and you just literally bounce off the trampoline. So when they said the word vault, it's like she's going to be vaulted out, and it's going to just really expand for her pretty quickly.
Oh, that's exciting. Thank you, Gloria. Wow, I love that. Sun Moon, any message for me?
Well, I would like her to be more specific. They would like her to be more specific, so we can come back to that if she wants to pop another little, you know, because they really like us to communicate with them. So we need more than, is there a message? So yeah, if she would like to do that, it'd be great.
All right, so we'll get to Sun Moon. If you can get specific on that, would be great. Okay, Amy, could you ask who my primary family is? Thank you, Amy.
Oh, Amy's very sweet. Very sweet energy. Primary family is Andromedan. Yes, that is her primary family. There are other beings around her, but it's Andromedan.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Kalia. Leslie, I have been told I have a Palladian twin flame who watches over me. Aww.
So she probably wants confirmation of that?
Yes.
I see that soul, and he does watch over her. I'm just confirming the twin flame thing. Honestly, it feels more like a brother. like a twin brother, where you like a what's the twins that look identical? Paternal, or what do they call them? Anyway, it's that.
Pater- yeah, paternal twin. No, fraternal. No, is it fraternal twins?
Something like that.
I think
Doesn't
it's
really.
fraternal twins. Yeah.
It's whatever the identical twins look like, where the cell is split. So it is similar to a twin flame, but it was a natural. Oh, there's so much myth around twin flames. Okay, I'll ask for
We should
very
do a
clear.
show on that, Kalia.
I don't know if I'm your girl.
You're gonna explode the whole thing of a twin flame, and nobody's gonna like you.
Exactly. I have nothing to lose. We could go for it. I don't care.
That's right. That's right.
That could be actually really fun, because I think honestly you're onto something there. When I said I'm not your girl, I'll be your girl. I don't care.
Okay.
It's just that I laugh about it so much, because there's so much myth and misguided information that we really do need to address it at some point, because so many people fixate on it. And I'm not disrespecting anybody who feels that they have one. That is wonderful. I honor your experience, but I do giggle about it, because from the work that I do, it comes up so much, and they give me the same answer every time. It's like, anyway, I'm getting very sidetracked. I will get back to you, Leslie. We have to love ourselves fully and honor ourselves fully before any of that sort of happens. But there is a thing. It's a thing, but it's just been so wonkied. Okay, back to Leslie. Yes, it's like an identical twin feeling. I see him. He does watch over you. I cannot identify it as a twin flame, though, so we'll leave it at that. But there is some sort of twin sameness energy going on. Yeah,
Right,
it's almost like they were actually created together as twins, but it's definitely not a romantic sort of feeling. It's like, they trained together, they were star siblings together kind of thing, because I felt the brother sort of feeling. So a twin in that sense. Very close.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Jenny Smith, I'm afraid to ask, but do they want me to know anything now? That's from Jenny.
I wish that one was a little more specific too. Oh, okay. I feel her. I understand. First of all, darling, don't be afraid. Just let that go. Just take a moment and actually physically breathe and say, I am love. Because there's nothing bad going on. There's no negative messages. Sometimes they do send in a message that sort of like straightens us out and gets our head in the right place. So that's, they do that, but it's not like a spanking where you're scorned and shamed. Absolutely not. All right. Is there a message for Jenny? There's a block there. I am not seeing anything or hearing anything. So I wish I could help you, Jenny. I'll ask if there's anything I can do. But there's just a block. I can't do anything with it. So I send you love. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny. Linda, I have on some level resonated with Lyran, Arcturian, and Palladian. I have been told Palladian. Can you tell me anything? Thank you. This is amazing. Love and gratitude. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, so I believe there's sort of two bits of questions. So we'll ask if we can see her point of origin, and then we'll see who's around her. Let's do that.
Okay.
Because this feels really, really good, really light and naturally inquisitive and awesome and loving. Okay, who is Linda's original star family? Arcturian. And there are Lyrans, Palladians, and Syrians around you. And there's something about you and the sun too. So that's probably why the Lyrians are there. But there's I'm getting the body chills with this one, really strong sun connection. So pay attention to that and explore that. You may already know. I think she already knows that. Yes, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you,
Mhm.
Linda. Thank you, Kalia.
Mm.
Ramana, who is my star family?
Ramana. Ramana is a. The reason why I'm hesitating is because I believe it's Sirius, but I know there's Sirius A and B, but I'm asking which one because it's a one that I have
Mm,
not connected with. I have not connected with before. I think it's Series A. I need confirmation. Whoever it is not showing themselves to me. That's why I'm taking out
yeah.
my third eye binocular here so I can see because they're standing back. So I really
Yeah.
feel because I don't have a connection to Sirius A that that's who it is. I'm going to bring in an archangel on this one because my desire is to help everybody. If I do not receive an answer, I will not push it further, but I'm going to ask for some assistance here. Yeah, that's all I'm given, and there is more going on, but it is a personal thing for her, so I'm not going to make it public. So, yeah, it's serious A.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ramana. Jareen, do you think we need to stock up on water and food for March 21st? That's been a big thing going on.
Mhm. The answer is sure, why not? And it's a good feeling. Um, sure. Yes. But again, they're taking me back to when we were talking about living in the moment and not just don't worry, be happy, you know? Just listen
Love
to
that song.
yeah, just listen to the song and don't worry, be happy. But yeah, be prepared, sure, you know? And you may experience something different than I do. Um, I'm not telling now, I will say I do have extra food and water, just in case. Because I think that would be actually quite fun. Camping out in the living room, having a picnic, burning a candle, making a party
Yeah,
with my 5-year-old son. But yeah,
yeah.
it feels good, it feels
Makes
light, but
sense.
yes, there is that possibility, so sure, why not?
Yeah,
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jareen. Sun Moon. So her question was her galactic origin. Who is her
Okay.
galactic origin?
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Sun
thank
Moon.
you. Thank you, Sun Moon. Oh, you are a pixie. You
Oh,
are Cassiopean, and
ooh.
you have Palladian aspects. Even, yeah, pixie fairy, very light, very elemental. Very, yeah, Cassiopean. That's the answer, but I'm getting like, I'm just getting bombarded with stuff right now. It feels really good and really playful and really fun. So enjoy you, because you're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's it. Mm,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sun
mm,
Moon. Thank you, Kalia.
mm.
Jareen, are my abilities getting stronger? Please.
I see your abilities and they are strong. I'm seeing them above your crown. So why they're showing me that is your abilities are infinite, but they're showing me of the funnel. So we all have portals, chakras, etc. So yours is definitely not at full capacity, but it's definitely not a trickle. So allow your awareness of that to visually expand that funnel that comes through your crown. For you, it's your crown. Some people, they get it in the back of their neck, or some people through the heart. So hers is up here. It's where all the action happens. So there's definitely a flow of energy. It's definitely expanded from your original awareness of it, and it will continue to expand.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Jareen. Thank you, Kalia.
Mhm.
Uh, Gail, do I have a guide? How can I connect?
Gail, yes, you have a guide. He is presenting himself as a male, older man with a beard, very soft and gentle, white robes. Yeah, so gentle. Really love the soul. Um, Even though he looks like a grandfather, he says he's young at heart. He's been with you in other lifetimes. He has not, if you're asking right now if he's someone who's crossed over, the answer is no. He has stayed on the other side in this lifetime. How can you connect to him? He says write. He likes when you write, so write little notes down. That's your first form of communication, but you can expand beyond that, where you can be telepathic with him. But the initial answer and guidance is to write things down. And he can see and hear you, but for some reason the writing is important for you to have that outlet of that form of communication. Perhaps she's right already. Who knows?
Wonderful. Awesome.
Mm.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Kalia. Deborah Lee, I would love to know galactic origins.
Deborah Lee. Deborah Lee is, again, I'm getting a few, but Deborah Lee is Arcturian. She's also Palladian. The point of origin is Arcturus, but she has Palladians with her, and she has Antarans with her, and she's also got a really strong Agarthan connection. She's connected all over the place, above and below, within and without.
Ooh,
Yes,
wow.
yes. But the
You're worldly.
yeah, she's very, very cosmic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you, Deborah Lee. Thank you, Kalia. Junior, can you ask who my primary family is?
Oh, Junior, we're gonna get some extra stuff for you, brother.
Yeah.
Junior, who is your primary family? Who's the primary family? I'm feeling so much excitement right now. I have to sort of like gently push that away and focus. They, I'm seeing a whole bunch of like laughter and joy and a white screen. So Junior and I will be communicating later this week. So that's why this is okay. They do not want you to know until then. So we have to wait just a couple more days. And
Yeah,
then
I
they
know,
will tell
me
you.
too. Oh,
Yes, yeah, just a couple more days, brother. But that was fun. I like when they have a sense of humor. But yeah, I
yeah.
just saw a white wavy sheet with a lot of laughing behind it, like a good sort of, they know that this is okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I love that. Thank you, Junior.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kalia. Sun Moon, who is my galactic family? Who is my galactic family? Also, I dreamed last night I was taken in this huge silver ship. Who was it? So, two questions. Who was her galactic family? And she was taken in the silver ship.
Didn't we already answer who her family was? I think we did.
Oh, yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So
Okay, so Sun
we'll
Moon,
just
we already answered. Yeah.
we'll just go to the ship. The Great Silver Ship. I see it, but again, I do not recognize what specific group it belongs to. It feels good though, and I see it. Am I allowed to know who it is? Well, they're shapeshifters, whoever they are.
Oh.
And shapeshifters in this case is not negative, but they are able to acclimatize through different dimensions. It's really unique. I have not seen that before, so this is really cool
Oh.
discovery for me.
Awesome.
I need to ask them what their point of origin is, and if they're going to let me see that. Will you let me see that? That ship was not from the Milky Way galaxy. That's all I know. That's all they're letting me see. But that was from far, far away in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but it felt okay. It wasn't bad or scary.
Yeah. Well, we know you can't get anything like that coming to you anyway, could you?
No,
You couldn't pick it
unless
up.
that soul has agreed to have that experience.
Oh,
There is that caveat.
okay.
Unless that soul needs to clear up something.
Yeah.
There is, but they would be divinely guided and supported through that. So it wouldn't be, because there are new universal laws that are being held, in place. Yes. Okay. Mhm.
Yes, yes. Thank you for that. Francisco, recently I've asked my guides for assistance. May I ask how many guides I have for their names? Thank you, Francisco.
Let's go. Well, this is a big number, but I saw and heard 13 immediately, so I'll just pass that along to you. I don't know if we'll be able to discover all their names. I mean, we would be able to, but I will see what I'm given liberty to share. There are three who are connected in a familial sort of way. They're three of the same beings. I need to ask who his main guides are and narrow this down because there's a lot of communication right now, and I need to just sort of clarify it. You have a reptilian guide, and don't freak out by that because they've gotten a bad rep. There are high vibrational reptilians, so that is one of your main guides. You have someone who has crossed over, and I'm just asking if it was in this lifetime or because sometimes guides have been our family members in other lifetimes, and then they'll stay on the other side, and then a couple of our incarnations later they will be our guide, kind of thing. So this is what that feels like. Someone who he knew in a past life, a very recent past life, who is a guide. She's presenting herself as a female. And you have a small child with you that's holding your hand. And children can be guides too. So that's all they're showing me. So those three, wait a second. That's pretty cool. There's also a dog that is hanging around. So those would be your main ones. As far as the other, let me do the math. What's 13 minus 4? 9. The other 9, it feels more of a coming and going. They're not your main ones, but they're definitely around you. So hopefully that would satisfy Francisco.
Thank you, Francisco. Thank you, Kalia. Yvonne, hi, bless you for your assistance. Is it possible to ask what has been severely impeding our life, her husband and herself?
Yeah.
On every level, health, wealth, lucky, harmony, and been resistant to any and all clearings, healings, and work, all increasing since 1992. Any guidance so we can do our work instead of trying to survive? Thank you, Yvonne.
This is a bloodline thing that goes way, 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 way back. So the clearing and healing, it's not like the souls that have helped you have not known what they're doing. It's just that they, it goes back so far, like generation after generation after generation. It almost feels like similar to that curse energy. There's a contract involved that's one of your ancestors agreed to. So let's say because I'm trained in house clearing and business clearing and whatever clearing, body clearing, everything clearing. So I could come into your house and clear it and really have a good intention and a high vibe, and it temporarily gets good. It lifts it temporarily. But if there is still that energetic cord that goes so far back, unless that is dealt with, it's just going to keep coming back and coming back like a virus or like a weed, because the roots have not been removed. So you can pick a weed out of your garden and snap it off at the surface of the dirt, but it's going to grow back. So this is the energy of what's happening there. Let me ask if there is, I will get your soul's consent and your husband. Yes, you are very open and very willing. So together, let's set the intention of calling in divine order now in every circumstance in your life. And what we're doing is we're calling in divine order for a divine one to come and assist you with this. In this case, it is good to seek outside help because you have really earnestly tried, and it feels like you're just going around and around on the hamster wheel. So I'll ask if there's anything else that I can help you with. In the meantime, they're saying call in Archangel Michael and call for extra backup, because you can do that. It's not too much to ask. It is not going to, that's not permissive of you or selfish of you or anything. So call in extra backup, galactic backup, angelic backup, whatever, in the meantime, until you find this person that can help you clear this up once and for all. But you're going to have to believe and trust, because this has happened over and over and over. I can see it and I can feel it. It's very palpable right now. You're going to have to trust when it actually happens that, relax. You can breathe again. But, I'm sending you a hug right now, because I feel the enormity of it. But it is not too late, and it is not too far gone, and it can happen instantaneously, and it will be okay. So for that couple, continue to call in divine order. Those are their magic words. I call in divine order now, and just keep continuously doing it, and have faith and trust, and you will be guided to the one who can assist you, because there's one who knows how to do this.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Kalia. Thank you so much. Lawrence, I feel like I'm in a holding pattern. Is there something coming soon to change that? And then second question is his star family. Who is his star family?
Lawrence, okay, I'm connected now. Star family they're starting with that. Please help me identify you. Okay. It's Arcturian, but it's not the usual frequency I get, which I accept that. It's fine. It still feels good. It just it feels different and looks different, actually, but it's Arcturian, so we'll move past from that. The holding pattern. How can we help Lawrence in the holding pattern? I see it. It's still a frequency and it's still energy moving, but it's a zigzag. So you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, but there's really no steady movement. Okay, how can we assist Lawrence with this? You have very specific, I'm seeing the numbers 333, so they're saying that frequency is very powerful for you. And you can, that's where you create from, and that's how you can shift out of this. So how can he practically use that? That's really cool. Let's see if I do have pen and paper. They're showing me some sort of sacred geometry. It's almost like the flower of life. So I'll see if I can quickly, because I know people are waiting, but
okay,
I can quickly draw it. Okay, so there's threes, and they're all connected. No, that's not right. They're telling me 3. So yeah, that's 3. So this is very this one right here. So see, there's a 3 there, and then you just flip it, and there's a 3 there, and then you flip it, and there's a 3 there. And it
can you show it up to the camera more a little bit?
Yes, yeah. So this one right here, there's 3 3s in there.
Okay.
So I can't really do this. 3, and then you spin it, and there's a 3, and you spin it, and there's 3, but it looks like a daisy.
Yes. Yes.
So there's something about him in sacred geometry. So let me go back to that, because I had to draw that. That was kind of fun. That is the source code you came here with. So instead of zigzagging, turn those, it's almost like when you see a patient hooked up to a EKG or a heart rate monitor, whatever, you see their, their heartbeat. So instead of him zigzagging, he's to visually replace that with the roundness of 3s. So see the 3s that are tipped over, and imagine his rhythm shifting from the zigzag frequency to the soft, sacred geometry 3 frequency, and the repetition of that pattern is somehow very powerful to him. Very unusual answer, but that's what they're showing him. So he can shift that in his frequency and vibration, but there is something practical that he can do. Okay, it's like they're showing me, it's like when I was sharing with the other soul to say I am. He can say I am, absolutely, but they're saying to even say out loud, Trinity or 333 or 333, or to verbalize it and visualize it and make it really palpable, because you're putting that frequency out there and you're strengthening it, magnifying it, and expanding it. Interesting answer.
Ooh,
But it's
awesome.
cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that. Ooh,
Yeah.
thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Kalia.
Mm-hmm.
Anna, hi and thank you. I am Arcturian. I have connected with them, but I want to ask why it is almost 10 years I have to dress and have my house decorated in only white and blue. Absolutely not any other color. I know I was bringing down the blue code, but if I could have more information, I would appreciate it. Lots of love. Thank you, Anna.
That is strongly connected to the Mary Magdalene frequency, and that's
Oh,
why she was asked to do that. That's why she was asked to do that. Now they're showing me that she can change that. She can still have that as they're showing me like an artist. So you lay down the gesso before you paint, so that it's the primer, right? And then you layer the colors. So this is the base layer of the color that she creates with, but now she can start adding more colors. That's a really cool picture. But it is
yeah.
connected to Mary Magdalene frequencies. And there's something about her and birthing new energies too. And so that's why they want her to add more colors to the palette of her home and the palette of her life. Now she has laid the foundation. Now she's allowed to be creative about it and bring in more colors and frequencies. Oh, I like that one too.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Mary Magdalene. Wow. I love that.
Mhm,
What an honor that is. Well, they're all an
mhm,
honor, but
mhm.
yes, beautiful. Thank you for that. And thank you, Kalia. Monica, I did a meditation during the eclipse. I ended up following something big with a tail. It was a dragon. What was it? And what do I want? What do I do with it? I don't know if that's swallowing or she has swallowing.
Okay. I think it feels more like following. So she did a meditation. She was
Oh,
in another,
yes.
yeah. She was in
Okay.
another
I
reality.
didn't get that.
Okay. And she wants to know what it was. Confirmation, yes to the dragon. Pardon me. Clearing the throat chakra for that dragon wants to play with you. So
Aw.
connect with that dragon. That dragon is your friend. And that dragon's very special. And you're very special to be able to connect to that dragon, but have that knowing that there is a relationship that's already been there, but that is about to be rediscovered. Ah, I like that.
Yes. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Jenny, I hope there's no block to see. Where did I originate from?
Oh, Jenny, you're sweet. No, and honestly, that block was not you.
Yeah,
You know,
negative.
it just was there. So I'm sorry, I got distracted. Please repeat the question. Where is she
Oh,
from?
yes.
Okay. Okay, Jenny,
Where
you
did she
are,
originate from? Yeah.
yeah, Lyran with very high vibrational,
Mm.
light, really white light beings. I know the Lyrans were some of the original creators, but they're showing me like beyond that. So very, very old energy, very good energy, that came straight down from source. And okay, the short answer is Lyran. Yes.
Wow. Love
Hmm.
that. Thank
Hmm.
you. And everybody else that you did gave information to, their saying thank you as well.
Hmm.
Um, Judith, who is Sam to me? A blessing
Sam.
or a curse? You could do it.
Sam. I'm not sure that Sam and I would be friends. He's not outright awful, but he's not like the highest frequency that I would like to feel. Um, I'm asking why he's showing himself to me as he is. Sam needs to be told the truth. And you have nothing to lose, so don't be afraid. But Sam needs to be told the truth. Like he's not an evil being, an evil soul. but he's not always on the up and up. So Sam needs to be told the truth. And that may be, let me ask, you may need to call him on stuff and not, you don't have to be assertive and throw your weight around, but be solid and sure about it, but tell Sam the truth.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Kalia. Elfie, I have finished my mission and am waiting for my new mission. I have to wait a bit longer, or can I start?
They said she never stopped. She just shifted. She's
Hi,
still
Elfie.
active and she's still doing the work, but I do see the transition. It's cool, but it's still all connected. So they're showing me a shape again where it's almost like a staple. It looks like a staple. So imagine a staple upside down, sort of U shape, and then one right side up, and then another one upside down. So you're in the right side up phase right now, where it's not the same frequency. You definitely have identified it, but you're still in it, girl. It's just that the frequency is just flipped for a minute for whatever reason, and then you're going to go down into the other frequency that you're accustomed to, but it's going to move a lot faster. So you're still in it. It's still happening. Just trust it, because you're going to flip again, and then it will be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm doing my thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Elfie. I just, I'm hearing, so if anybody really wants to do a session with Kalia too, please give her a call. So Kalia, you want to let them know how they can get a hold of you as well. She does many, many things. So if you guys want to reach out to her as well, definitely give her a call too.
Yes, that would be great, because my third eye is like throbbing. Just because this is like so much. I love this, so this is great. They told me this would happen tonight. So how everyone can reach me, the simplest way is through my website, www.kaliadaya.com. I'll spell that because there's a lot of E's and I's and stuff. www.kaliadiya, all one word, .com. And I'm on Facebook as well, on Galactic Connections and Metaphysical Practitioner, and then New Earth Wands, of course, which is my magic shop where I make wands and capes and all things fun and fairy. So yeah, website is best though. That way you get the bio, you get the rates, you get the services, and then you can pick and choose what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she can go like really in depth with you guys too. So that would be,
definitely.
I just need to say that too, because maybe people want to get a session and they don't know how to reach you. Okay, Nicia, if you don't mind answering one more question, please. Do I have a star family?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Who are they? I have to connect to your energy. I didn't quite make the full connection there. It's very angelic. So there's an angel aspect, but I want to know who the star family is that's around her. Palladian. Okay. Palladian. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you, Nicia. Thank you, Kalia. Marilyn, I would love to know who my guides are.
Oh, Marilyn. Such nice energy. The kind of energy what makes me want to be your friend. She wants to know who her guides are, or her energy came through very strongly, so I got distracted. Who are her guides, right? That was the question, right, Linda? Who are her guides, or?
Yes. Who are her guides, Marilyn? Yeah.
Okay. That was cool. She's very telepathic, because this is like she's sitting beside me. Okay, please show yourself. She has a young androgynous being, neither male nor female. They're just presenting themselves as soul. Very young, though. And I'm getting that it doesn't matter to identify if it's, angel or galactic or anything. It's just a young androgynous being, very high vibe. It looks they're presenting themselves as a human. I can see them in human form. That one is on your left. So that one is more of a galactic being. There's one really big, powerful guide that stands behind you that really takes a lot of the hits for you and protects you, or has in the past. Very big. Yeah, really big. This one you can communicate with more because he gets almost so protective that he tips things out of balance. So you can tell him that, you've got this. We're not fighting anymore, kind of thing. It feels like he's really had to protect you a lot in past lives, and that's why he's that way. It feels also very a human connection there, like the other guy that the other person had that was with them a few lifetimes prior to. It feels like that. And then there's one on your right who is a fairy. She has gorgeous coppery red hair. She's all in green. She's got flowers everywhere. She's very light. She is helping you. She has helped you connect to that lightness and that creativity. Just as you play together. And then there's a really big angel above you, very strong, has golden, very soft yellow hues to the robe. Not a specific angel, but a very strong, powerful angel. So those are your guides.
Awesome. Thank you. Marcia, I was told I had a life in Egypt around cats. May you tell me my guides? Can you tell her her guides?
There's something about you in the color purple and gold, and there's black, which is all very Egyptian to me. Who are your guides? You have, please show yourself. Are we allowed to see? There's a smallish one on your left, about 4 feet, 4.5 feet, somewhere there, 4 feet tall. That one's galactic. In fact, I think that one's Arcturian. You have a tall, very tall, presenting himself as masculine energy, but really it's just, it actually, that feels very connected to Jesus. It's not Jesus, but it's like one of the apostles kind of feeling, like a really, really cool dude. I like him. And is there more? That's all I'm seeing. So we'll leave it at that.
Awesome.
I think, Linda, we need to, even though this is fun and I absolutely love it and we've helped so many people, I am being told that I need to shut this down fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And then we can go to any other like galactic questions, but all of a sudden everything is just going from 1,000 to about 0. So I have to trust that.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, my third eye is just like.
Well, and we're coming upon 6:30. It's 2.5 hours. 8:39.
Mm-hmm.
30, yeah, 2.5 hours. So I was going to ask you if you wanted to continue on how you were feeling.
I would love to do this. This is brings me joy, but I do physically. My body is saying that's enough, so I have to honor that.
Yeah, a lot of exerted energy. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Sorry we didn't get to anybody had questions. If you guys have any questions on the galactics or anything like that, on the governs that we talked about, on the crystal cities, which I'm excited about. And again, you guys can reach out to Kalia to do a session through her website, kaliadaya.com.
That's right.
Yeah. So, is there anything that, thank you so much, by the way.
You're welcome.
Is there anything that you wanted to say to the listeners that are listening now and the ones who'll be tuning in? Any last words of wisdom?
Actually, yes. They're showing me there was part of the channeling that we didn't share, and it's just pretty basic and sweet, but they said they were very pleased to share all this information with us. So everything we've talked about in the last 2 nights, they are so pleased. It is the only reason why they withhold information is because, like they said, it would upset the fruit basket a little bit. So they give it to us as we
Yeah.
need it. They give us as much as they can, and sometimes they want to give us more, but they honor the process. So they're very pleased to
Yeah.
share it. They want us all to know that they really send a lot of love to us because they honor our role here. We did talk about this last night where they called us the brave ones,
Yeah.
and the ones I connect to, I'm telling you, they're just so awesome. They are truly my friends. And I know there are people who, before I awakened, would call me a complete nutcase, but I don't care. This is
Yeah.
real. This is
Yeah.
so real. And I have developed such a beautiful relationship with them. So
Yeah.
when they say that they love us, for those of you who can't feel, just allow me to again broadcast through my heart how much love there is for us and the connection and their excitement about us remembering our star families and remembering who we are and that they can come closer to us and that they can, be part of our lives again. And when they say that, it's authentic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They call us the brave ones because we are the ones that agreed to come down in this density and to take the gamble that we would wake up and remember who we really are.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
are the ones that initiated the awakening too. And like they said prior to, they needed our consent. That's why they couldn't come in sooner because we had to wake up and say, hey, yeah, we need some help over here.
Yeah.
Come on over here. So
Exactly.
they honor us for initiating that and remembering what this whole cosmic life force is really about. And they are extremely proud of us and they honor each and every one of us. So that includes everyone, every soul on the planet, every soul who's chosen to awake. And now they're narrowing it down more specifically to every soul who has been watching this transmission or who ever will watch this transmission. Because the beauty about these transmissions is because it transcends time and space and it is pure energetic frequency. It never expires, it never wears out. It always is brought to you exactly at the right time for the soul that needs to hear it. So it is timeless and infinite and quantum and cosmic. So
Yeah.
that's what they would like to leave with us, is that feeling of what we started with. We're coming full circle, that lighthearted levity. Just enjoy being alive, enjoy being you, and discover
Yeah.
more about you, and don't restrict yourselves
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all. I find myself doing that too, and then I shift out of it and I recreate in the next moment and reset. But that
Exactly.
would be their biggest thing because, we are juggling a lot of balls. We're learning about
Yeah.
ourselves. We're curious. We want to know specifics of ascension. Meanwhile, for example, my life is I have 3 children and a cat, and, you know, I I do all the things because it's just me. I'm the mom and the dad, the man
Yeah.
and the woman.
Yeah.
I'm the the epitome of the divine feminine and masculine, or the yin and the yang. That's my life. So they know that I'm really busy with being a
Yeah.
human, but I've learned to just, okay, so today I'm humaning. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow I'll be a
Yeah.
galactic, but to honor the
Yeah.
process, to honor your life here, because it's a really sweet and beautiful opportunity for you to merge with your higher self, come into the oneness like never before. This is unprecedented and this is groundbreaking and it's epic. So enjoy it.
Yeah.
Really, that's why they came here with party mode, strobe lights
Yeah.
flashing, house music,
Yeah.
the whole thing. They had it going on.
Yeah. Well, it's like they say, it's the journey, not the destination. So it's not us really going
Absolutely.
home, but it's that journey in between of what is taking place in each
Yeah.
and every moment to
Yeah.
arrive to that place. Because it seems funny because if you've ever reached the destination, right? You're there at the destination, and you're like, okay, where do I go from here now,
Mhm.
right? So we can advance higher and higher and higher. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
And we could even take this time. I don't know if they still want to do that. We could even take this time and be quiet for a little bit and just really take in if you want to do that, or we can actually close that down. You want to have
No, let's do that
yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Let's just
okay,
take a
yeah,
moment of silence and
yeah,
just, like they said in the last channeling, breathe through your
yeah,
heart,
yeah,
because your heart is your power center. So let's just do that together and just feel
yeah,
each other's heartbeats and allow that to expand You just visualize it, use your imagination, expand outside of your house, into your neighborhood, into your city, into your country, and then imagine it expanding globally and then universally, just completely out, just like starlight. So let that
Yeah.
starlight
Okay.
come out of your heart
Okay.
right
So
now.
we're gonna do. So we're gonna take a
Mhm.
few minutes here, you guys, and do this.
Well, it happened. So we'll make sure we bring everybody back.
Yeah.
Bring everybody back into the here and now, but I saw a very clear vision of our intention collectively. That was so cool. It rippled out.
Yeah. I could feel. I mean, I didn't really, but I could feel this pulsating
Yes.
of energy. This is what I
Mhm,
felt like going all over. Yeah. It was
mhm,
very beautiful. I felt a lot of emotion. I could
mhm,
feel the love and the gratitude and the desire.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that you felt that.
Yeah.
I could feel it too,
So,
and I saw us all connected to source like a maypole, where there's these streams of light, ribbons of light that came from source, and we're all like dancing, each carrying a streamer of light,
yeah.
a ribbon of light, and then I just saw it like almost like an atomic bomb where it just exploded and it just rippled out into the universe. And there was pink energy on the end, on the outskirts
Oh,
of the impact of the energetic explosion, but we did it. That was
wow.
really cool that we just spontaneously did that. So
Wow.
that was brought forth for everyone to know their own power and the power of oneness and the power of being together,
Yeah.
because there's a few people that have not experienced that before. So that is really
Mm,
cool.
awesome. Kalia, I just want to tell you thank you
Yes,
so much.
you're welcome.
So I greatly appreciate who you are, what you're doing, and the love that you have um, in guiding people
Mhm.
to wherever it is they need to go and doing the work that you're doing out there. So just, I hope that you are blessed
I'm so
just
blessed.
10,000 fold, you
Yeah,
know?
I
Yeah.
feel you so much right now. My eyes are tearing up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It is my ultimate joy, and I carry a huge frequency of love, so it is quite easy for me to do this. But it
Yeah.
brings me joy. It's the circle of oneness. You give and you receive. I receive just as much as I give tonight. I received so much, and I learned a lot of things, and I saw a lot of
Yeah.
cool things I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I have never connected with so many people in such a rapid period of time either.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, but
Mm,
thank you for giving me this opportunity and holding the space. You're amazing. And amazing is
thank
spelled
you. Thank you.
AHHHHHH. Amazing. Like
Thank
a big
you.
ah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
You're welcome.
that means a lot. I really greatly appreciate that. And
Mhm.
oh gosh, thank you everyone who joined us today, the ones who'll be joining us afterwards. Again, this was such another beautiful show, a very loving, compassionate, guiding, and just a lot of great also information that we can take to look forward to or to envision of what is to that's
Mhm.
really here, but just to creating it more. Like she said, the crystal cities are just right there. So I just want to thank all of you, and we love you. We thank you, and Kalia, her and I will talk afterwards the show about possibly doing a twin flame show. I'm sure there is other more information that we can talk about as
Mhm.
things amp up and things are happening. So we'll definitely be on again. So again, thank you, Kalia. Greatly
Mhm.
appreciate you. Love you, sister.
Mhm.
And yeah, love
You're welcome.
all of you. And thank you all so much for tuning in today.
Thank you too, and love you too, and sending love to everybody. Mhm.
Yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
All right. Love you guys, and we'll see you real soon. So just stay tuned for more shows to come and see what's next. All right. Love y'all. Bye.